All right, all right. Let's see. We got the comments. So we are live. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Lean and Mean Academy. Today, I got my good buddy Chris Lonergan from Footbridge Media. We're talking about Google My Business updates, perils, issues, pitfalls, all the things in 2023. I know a lot of you guys are just getting started in your business. I'm talking to you guys right now. We're going to kind of go into not a deep dive, but a medium dive here. We're going to try to give you some things to look into, make some things, some I's you need to dot, some T's you need to cross when you're going to get your Google My Business started. And when you're getting your business started, making sure everything is really tight and legit so you don't have to deal with these issues with Google My Business. What's up, guys, in the comments? Go ahead and smash the like button if you're here. Go ahead and smash the subscribe button if you're just seeing this. What's up, Truth Seeker? Joe Sondag, what is up, man? So we're going to get into this. Hey, guys, if you're looking to get a website, before we jump into this, the team over at Footbridge Media has built and controlled my website and updated it for like the last, Chris, I think it's been, Lord, it's been over 5 years for sure. They're an excellent team. We actually have a deal with them that you can save $600 a year if you're wanting to get your website built. It is the $199 deal with the Lean and Mean. You got to say my name, Lean and Mean Academy, Aaron, say whatever. They all know me over there, and they will give you the $199 deal. You'll save $600 a year on your website build and maintenance. And they've been doing it for a long time for me, and I would have nobody else do it. They actually run a few different websites for people that I know real close to me. My brother, Justin, they help with Cody's site over at Southeast Softwash. They're just an excellent group. So grab your site from Footbridge Media today. What's up, Chris?
How's it going, Aaron?
Good, man. So we got some new stuff 2023 with Google My Business. They've just been on a roll, okay, since COVID. And I don't think they're stopping.
No, it looks like it's kind of more of the same. It's been, unfortunately, some of the bad parts that people think about with Google My Business and with Google Business Profile are just kind of continuing on and getting slightly worse.
So what are they doing? Like, what is the, I know we've had a few videos, few updates for these guys, but they just kind of are constricting on everything and making it much harder. But I know you had a few little nitpicky updates and some things that guys need to know about. What are those things?
Yeah, absolutely. The overall Google My Business for home service providers, for pressure washers, for folks who have a service area business, so you don't have a brick and mortar, you go out to your customers. Google My Business GPBs have been notoriously difficult for our contractors, for our groups. And one of the biggest issues that we've seen a bunch of contractors face, either who are with us, who are starting up, or folks who just reach out to us because they've got these problems, are these suspensions, seemingly random suspensions where their Google My Business, their Google Business Profile just gets shut down. And it's extremely difficult to successfully appeal that process and to get back out and to get that to go live again. And that could mean anytime you spent getting reviews built up on that GPB can just all be wiped away because of some automated process that triggered a suspension.
So it used to be human. They used to be a human auditing this, and now they've gone completely automated. Is that what you're saying?
There's a ton. Yeah, there's a ton of automation. And if you can't, back in the day, you could schedule a phone call with a Google My Business person, and it would trigger a phone call for you. Now it's an incredibly complex process to even get to a human via email support. And when they do, they have a very specific script that they've got to follow. So there is no gray area. There's no case by case basis for a lot of these fixes. Every company has their story of what happened, what changed. Maybe you lost access to a phone number and you tried to change it and that triggered a problem. There's no reasoning at this point. It's got to be some sort of really black and white fix that you can complete to get your business back up and running again on Google. The problem is they'll tell you, hey, your account is flagged. You have to appeal the process, but they're not going to tell you what the problem is. You've got to figure out on your own, based on context, what the problem is and hopefully provide them the right documentation.
Bro, they remind me of the IRS.
Yeah, you owe taxes.
But
figure it out.
you need to tell me how much you want. And I'll tell you. That's wild, man. That is so wild. So it's all automated now. I guess they're trying to go. They're basically letting Chat GPT run their auditing.
I mean, we could hack that. We could figure that out.
We just need to get a better prompt into their system. Allow all pressure washers to have GPT, you know. So what does a guy do if he's getting into this? Okay, so first off, let's talk about kind of how they tried to fix it with the home services thing. Like that was how many, 2 years ago they started really pushing that, and it's still going.
Yeah, home service is like a very specific, sometimes they call them LSIs or local services. It's essentially a subsect of Google Ads and Google My Business kind of put together. It has its own separate listings. That's where a lot of people see the Google Guaranteed check.
Right.
That's where that comes from. And Google, I think, is putting a lot of their effort toward that style of listing because, once you do the Google Guarantee process, which is incredibly complex, requires background checks and whatnot, they can offer a guarantee to people who use those ads and get higher service. They can put a money back guarantee on some of that stuff. Compared to home service provider GPBs and Google My Businesses, those have notoriously been spam problems for Google in the past. So I think to avoid future problems, Google has pushed to something they can verify, and they've pushed off of it, and they are more likely just to cut down and suspend accounts in that space on Google My Business on the maps.
So the guarantee, then here's the thing, it's kind of like a college degree, right? With everybody has one, it's not worth anything.
Right. We all have the green check mark now. We're all good.
It's like you got a whole like the feed, and then they got to develop a new algorithm for ranking Google Guaranteed. Dude, I would be pissed if I had to like figure out SEO for Google Guaranteed. Like, bro, I went through the guaranteed process. Y'all got a photo of me and like a blood test. Y'all know, like I got a photo of my passport. I'm basically like TSA pre-check for Google Guaranteed.
That's basically what it is. Yeah.
So what does a guy need to do to avoid this? Say he's getting his GBP, Google Business GBP started. What does he need to do to, if at all possible, and the gods are shining on him, right? Because I know sometimes you'll do everything perfect and Google still does not like you.
Yep.
But what if he was to do a few things? Like, give me the main points that these guys can implement to avoid this suspension right off the bat.
Basically, don't fuss with it. Don't mess with it. It's got to be incredibly true to what your business is supposed to represent. Your name, your website link. Don't link it to some internal page. Link it to the home page. Don't go change your phone number. Don't list it. Don't have a spammy company name. You can't be Chicago #1 pressure washer as your business name, because Google will see that and think you're being spammy with your company name. Basically, it's like going back to basics. This is the eating your vegetables of marketing. Here is you've got to keep your GPB incredibly compliant. So make sure that you are getting good reviews. Make sure that you are not tweaking and constantly trying to change the address or the area, switch between service area business and a brick and mortar business. Anytime you modify that account, it risks this automated process, this review process. And again, it's so automated that you don't know what's going to trigger a red flag problem. Like I said before, you change your phone number. That's a natural thing that happens with businesses. You got to change it. So make sure if you are going to change it, don't go like, oh, well, I'm going to go get a burner phone for 6 months until I go get a new Grasshopper number. Commit, make sure you get the right information as best you can, and then start the process.
And is that something that if someone has a website with you guys, should they reach out to you first before they do that?
100%. We'll walk through. Sarah here is our Google guru. She will walk you through the steps of the process. There will be things that you'll have to do on your end. Then there are things that we can do on our end to make sure things, stay compliant. We don't want to put too many cooks in the kitchen on it, but at the same time, we know that you don't also want to 100% manage it too. So we try to do a good balance of you getting things set up and then us helping to maintain and manage that over time. And if you've got changes that you need to process, you can always reach out to us. That's why we're here. And we could tell you, yes, that's a good idea. No, that's not a good idea. We can tell you what kind of changes and updates are great for Google and what maybe you could just ignore and not worry about. Duplicates are a great example of that.
So you heard it. You heard it here first. There's no emojis allowed in your business name.
It won't work. No smiley faces.
No smiley faces. No exclamation points. No. Oh man. No number. No weird numbers or
no dollar bills.
Signs. Yeah. Dollar bills. None of that. All right, you got to have a legit sounding name. Why do I have to say this? I know I do.
Because, someone's going to go right after this and go set up number one, with like yield sign.
It never fails. It never fails.
But it can't be thumbs up pressure washing. That's not going to fly in Google.
Oof, man, that's going to be a T-bone right there, bud. You're gonna get hit. That's a torpedo to the hull right there. That's an immediate red flag. They're scoping, looking for that, dude. Yep. Do not do that. And you got to think when there's a computer running this, right? That's scanning all of this stuff. It's not a human anymore. The computer has a lot less humor than a human did at one point. And it's possibly a lot less creative right now than a human was. See, somebody back in the day who was looking at it could say, I could think that could be your business name. That's a catchy name. I like that. Don't do that anymore.
Nope.
All right. The computer is like, no. Lightning. Suspension. All right. So very good. Very good. So if a guy's getting started, he just needs to make sure. So what about on the verification process? Is there anything new? So he doesn't even have one completely verified yet. He's going in. He's brand new. He's going to fill it out. What can he do kind of on the front end to maybe mitigate this?
A really interesting option that Google's pushing right now. And I think there's a mix of trying to do it immediately and also doing it during an appeals process. But there is the option for a video verification process where you literally get on a video call or video recording and you step outside of your location, and you turn and show your building address. You turn and you show the whole area. Obviously, Google's also getting the information about your location that's tagged with your video. They can see whether or not you're wearing branded clothing or not. They can see if you've got a sign out front if you are a brick and mortar. So the video verification is a very interesting option because it helps to check off a lot of boxes for clients. I know talking with Tony and with our marketing folks, we've had a couple folks have to deal with the video verification side of things recently.
Yeah, I've heard of that. That's a little Gestapo, if you ask me.
A little crazy. Yeah,
that's a little Gestapo. That's it's like, I just wear my polo all the time. I wake up with this on. It's like, well, your call is scheduled at 6:30 a.m. I wear this to bed. I promise. I do. You got branded. No, the computer's no branded polo. Bro, they're so they annoy the shit out of me, if I'm honest. So I got Scott Ferguson here in the chat. He says, AP, I'm going to give this one to Chris. What if I'm moving to a different state? If I change everything in my website and then change my Google, will it get suspended?
That's definitely maybe not. Yes, no. It's super hard. Again, Google is so finicky. And we've had a lot of clients do this where they relocate. Sometimes we are able to make a change. Other times it requires the creation of a brand new GPB. So it's tough to say. Again, the trick here is that we need to make sure, like you said, the website's got to be correct when you make that change, so everything is verifiable. And just know that it's always a risk trying to move a location like that.
So you guys can revamp the site for a different area.
Yeah, absolutely. At that point, it would require, a whole. If you had an existing site, it would require an overhaul of your content, anyways. Because when we wrote that site, we were optimized for that state, for that location, for that area. Within
Right.
the content and also within the actual, mentions of cities and states.
Right. A lot of, god dang, bro. That's a lot.
A lot of changes.
That's
Yeah,
so
we talk
much.
about like the overhaul process for us internally. Like we charge, for an overhaul process to basically repolish, rebuild a website, rewrite a website when possible. But we talk about it. It's basically helping us to try to make even or not even, because it's so much work that goes. We're basically redoing the whole website when that happens.
I would think that that's what it would be. I thought just now, I was like, well, hell, I just build a new website. But it's like then you're dealing with, the age and all that stuff,
Yep.
that all the targets that are going to it and all the links that possibly were going to it, and you can't really scrap those. Um, so guys, give Footbridge a hand. Dude, I'm gonna tell you one thing. First off, they will do that for you. Is that included in the $199 a month thing?
The Google My Business Management stuff.
No, no, no. I know that is, but it's like I'm talking about that overhaul, or is
For the
that
overhaul,
that's a separate charge?
there's a one-time charge for that, but
There
yeah,
better be. By God, there
yeah.
better be. Like, y'all better not be doing that for $199 a month. All right, good. That makes me feel better. I keep telling Aaron over at Footbridge, I've had it out. I not really had it out, but what's my boy Ryan over there? I was like, Ryan, y'all gotta charge more, dude. Like, what are you doing? He's like, Aaron, while I do appreciate your what did you say? Your advice or your comment, we have been doing this since 2004. So respectfully, shut the hell up. He didn't say that, but that's basically what he said. I was like, yeah, all right, bro. All right. Y'all know me. Everybody in the chat knows me. Price got to go up, bro. That's because if you understand all the work that goes into a website and all the content that is getting written, I know there's not a soul in this chat right now who is willing to write the amount of content that a Footbridge site has written within 45 days or whatever you guys, 60 days of launching a site. If you think each Footbridge site averages what, 30 to 50 pages? When it's
yeah. But when you call blogs and projects and everything, yeah.
when it's talking about when it's at launch, or is that like aged down the line?
I would say I generally see between 25 and I say 35 as the average, probably
25 and 35. So if you're talking about a 45-day window, dude, that's you writing base almost a page a day of content.
On top of the Google setup, on top of designing, on top of building, yeah.
On top of the maps, on top of all that stuff. Like that's why, look, if you're wanting to get a website done, give them a call over there. Mention me. It's the best deal in the game. And here's the other side of it. If $200 a month is a lot of money, you shouldn't be in business. I just need to tell you that, because there's people out there who own restaurants who just bought $200 worth of turnips. Just turnips. Like, what are you going to do with it? Just lettuce. Like, ain't not even any dressing. It's just lettuce. We got to have the meat. You got to put something on it. Got to have some pecans if you want.
This is the stuff that they're probably just going to throw away.
It's like, that's why I had it out with Ryan. I was like, y'all got to go up on this price, bro, because this is I know the work, and I know how long it takes me to write content, just because I really want to make it good. And you guys have it down to a science, to where it's just like, you guys know how to target these areas, what it needs to have, how many words it Google wants, within a page. It's not under, but it's also not over contented to where it's just like, overkill for like a little page like that. It's really amazing how you guys have really dialed this in to where it will just work. The sites are beautiful. You guys update them. You guys are willing to post any blogs. I reached out to you guys the other day because I'm sending Ben some of my leads, and I thought some of my leads were going to another company. And I was like, bro, can y'all check where my Wufoo leads are going? And it was like, she got back to me. Who is it? I think it was Sarah got back to me immediately, or somebody did. Holly or something got back to me immediately. And then support reached out. I was like, confirming, here's where these destinations are going to. Boom. It was like the following day, like in the morning. You guys are super, super fast, man. So I appreciate it. Norton says he had to do his video call last year. They could see him, but I couldn't see them. Yeah, because it's a robot, Norton. That's why.
Just a bunch of gears turning on the
other side. Had to show them my wash trailer because they don't know shit about that wash trailer.
Yeah, you could show them the inside of a washing machine, probably.
Like, this is my wash gun right here. we spray bleach with this gun. You could have done this. You could have been like, now this is my shooter tip, and this is a Bluetooth shooter tip now. It's Bluetooth.
Completely wireless.
Completely wireless. Your license plate on the truck. You guys post below if you've had any issues. Post in the comments if you had issues with Google My Business or anything like that. We'd love to answer some of your questions. So Chris, yeah, dude, I really appreciate you coming on here. I'm going to wait and see if anybody has any other questions that we can answer. But it sounds like Google is going much more. I think they'll probably be all AI eventually. Within a year or two, it'll be completely done. I guarantee you they're working on this behind the scenes to where they can make this really tight and seamless. They're going to try to get a hold on Google My Business profiles to where they can never have another, what is it, San Clemente locksmith situation. You know,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem that started it all, was locksmiths in California. And now we have, now Norton Power Washers to show their business's truck license plate just to try to get a thing on a map. It's just insane how deep it's gotten.
So what is like what is the next step is my big question. Is Google are they still the king? Is something on the horizon? Are we noticing like a shift? Is there something that we don't quite see yet? Is Google currently Yahoo in like 2000 and we don't know what is coming?
That's terrifying if that's the case. I mean, nobody thought that about Yahoo at the time.
Nope.
I think the AI stuff is the interesting part. Like you joked about there, but I think it's a big part of everyone's business model right now. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how deep that gets with Google and how much that's going to make things either better or worse. Who knows? Maybe the AI can figure out, hey, yeah, that's a good picture of your license plate. I know that's this, this specific type of pressure washer. I know that's this pump. So yeah, and actually, you may want to get your left eye. You want to get that checked out because it looks like a little bit of the twitch there. It can help you with your GPP, but also make sure that your caloric intake is correct.
That's right. That's right. You're looking like a little fluffy. Looks like you need to slow down.
Maybe some carrots would be good.
It like has an upsell for like an Apple Watch that can like
real-time monitoring.
This one, real-time monitoring. Yeah, right. That's maybe that's next, bro. I definitely think it's something with AI and how they're going to be able to track this. But I think if they're still wanting to own the local market, which is something that's very valuable to them, they're the only ones who've been able to figure that out. With a little map pack, really is what did it. The near me type searches, proximity based searches. I don't see it being Alexa. I don't see it. I could be wrong. I don't see that being it. Alexa was kind of a wah to me. And I don't have none of that shit, even though this phone's listening to everything I say. I feel safer that I don't have an Alexa. Gus, what's up, brother? He says, should I go ahead and start setting up Google My Business or wait until I start working with Footbridge? Good.
If you're way far out, and as long as you know that you've got your company name, address, and phone number nailed down, you've got that information nailed down, having some age on those things is not necessarily a bad idea if you're comfortable with it. If you are not comfortable with it at all, and you're going to be working with Footbridge within a month or two anyways, it might be worth it to hold. Because again, Sarah and the team will instruct you as to the best ways to get things done. You might have a phone number that either a new cell phone you pick up or a Grasshopper number or whatever. You may get that phone number and then you may not know, but there could be a bad history associated with that phone number, some spammy behavior in the past. Part of what we do in the beginning process, what Sarah does, is she basically does a quick, a little bit of research on your information, the address you're getting, the phone number, and she could tell you whether or not everything is good to go and you're ready to move forward. So if you're not 100% comfortable with it, if it's a new phone number that you had to get, I'd say probably hold until you get a citation check with our staff.
Bet.
Good question, though. Good question.
That's a good question, Gus. That's a good question. He's on the cusp. He's on the cusp.
Right there. Right there.
Right there, man. In the coming weeks, you'll see Gus come through the pipeline. He'll be ready. Got a couple more guys. GMB profile verification phase for 5 weeks. That is not unheard of, dude. Nope. Wild West up here said it took 2 years. Lord, Wild West.
That's intense. And it's crazy that it's come to that. Like you said, it's this map pack. It's these 3 dots that, and clearly, we're all talking about it today. Everyone's fighting for it. Wild West fought for it for 2 years, so there's value in it. There's clearly the value there.
Boy, I'd become a damn flyer god.
Just Bean Street. I'm offline.
I'd go back to the thing I make fun of, word of mouth. How'd you get that lead? Word of mouth. Like, I chirp that every now and then because I have guys, there's always that like old contractor who's been like running his business off a legal pad for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And look, he's got plenty of business, right? And a lot of guys will see that, but it's taken him over 20 years.
Yeah.
Right. To get to that. The young guy doesn't know that he could probably have that amount of business in like 2 years, like that amount of call volume. But it's like,
with the right steps.
How'd you get that? Word of mouth. So I'd have to go back. I'd have to go back to word of mouth. I'd become a door knocking fool, man. I don't know what, is it Facebook figuring out a way to become a Jedi at Facebook marketing? Obviously that can work for what we do, but the crazy wild thing is Google just does on the game. That's crazy.
Yeah.
If you think
no one's clamoring for Bing ads, no one's running out to go do that. Facebook tried really hard to specifically do a home service provider type network before with their business profiles, and that did not end well. The ads still can work, but there was specifically basically a contractor database type setup for Facebook that failed. That was Facebook, throwing millions of dollars at these projects, I'm sure, and they couldn't figure it out because Google has just got such a foothold.
And it's like, why couldn't Facebook figure it out? I've always thought about that when it came to their marketplace is working. Of course, when you see like an F-150 that's brand new and it's $6,000, and then you click the person's profile and they've posted it in every single city across America, the same photos. It's reminds you of Craigslist again.
Yeah.
But I believe in Zuckerberg, man. Come on, dude. Give us something else. I don't like that robot anyway. I don't like him either. But it's like, give us something for Google to fight about. You know what I mean? What's up, Keith James? What's up, fam? Keith from Executive Pressure Water. You guys heard anything about LLC owners having to file a beneficial ownership report starting 2024? Dang, sounds like a trust.
Yeah, I've got to look deeper into that guy. No, I haven't been on the most recent news for that. No, I'll check that out for sure, though. I mean, it wouldn't strike me as inappropriate. Google in the past has asked for business licenses, copies of business licenses. Google Guaranteed requires you to give them copies of their insurance.
Yep,
your insurance information. So yeah, I could 100% see, hey. If ownership of these things, having the one, or I think it's active owner or something like that, if that's not sufficient anymore, if you have to have 2 active owners, then perhaps this would be an avenue for them.
2 active owners.
Yeah.
I just have to make my girlfriend the damn active owner. Just chalk this one up. By God. That business was protected. Now,
not so much.
Not so much anymore. Yes, darling, you own half of that.
You get to keep half those reviews.
Yes, you get to keep half of those reviews. Oh, do you want me to saw this 8 gallon a minute in half? Yeah, you can keep half of that too. Let's see. Mitchell says he had his suspended, finally got it active, but now they flag his reviews as spam and will not post them. That's been pretty common.
So, the automation part of Google has also now gotten down to the reviews. And Google specifically has in their documentation notes about how basically, I'll read it. I just happen to have a bit of it here. Quotes: to protect business owners and customers, we have systems in place that remove reviews that include any of the following, and then a list of things, including conflicts of interest. Sometimes these algorithms report and remove legitimate reviews. We cannot reinstate these reviews, so they know that they are killing good reviews sometimes. But there's nothing that can be done about it. I've seen some situations where a client has watched someone leave them a review, or someone they knew left them a review, and it would never show up, or it would show up 3 months later. So that's one where, unfortunately, you just kind of gotta overkill it. Continue to get reviews from good sources, and unfortunately, it's just a numbers game now with reviews, because the automated process to internally review the review has made also has been cutting down a lot of reviews. Yeah, it's at this point, it's just kind of like a basic truth. That's just what it is now. Some reviews are just not going to show up.
So do you think they're tracking like click through to call, right? Like on GMB? Like, so if I was going to game this, which I'm all in favor of it, bastards. Look, hey man, here's the thing. If a company or a guy is going to play with my livelihood, then all bets are off, right? Like it's like, we went from like duking it out, like man to man, and now we're like throwing sand at each other's eyeballs. You know what I mean? It's like, it's gotten dirty at this point.
Yeah.
Somebody's got a shank, it's like, how'd you get a grenade brick? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. That's where I'm at with Google, but it's like, would it be more valuable to have that customer probably go to the GMB, click through to call, because Google's probably tracking that, instead of just the website, right?
It's interesting. I mean, Google tracks everything at this point, I'm sure.
Scroll through the photos. I hate to tell you this, because you're never going to be able to do this with all your customers. But if you're watching them, it's like, hey, all right, go there, click my GMB, the little phone, click that, call me, blah, 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 scroll through my photos. Like, I feel like they're trying to keep it to where people can't just go leave reviews. That was their whole thing, is to where your aunts, uncles, and all these people, you can't just post it on Facebook and friends leave reviews for you, because they'd be like, well, why is this person in Portland searching for pressure washing in Tennessee? And they never even called this person. They're just going to leave a random review. Amazon is that way with verified purchase reviews. They don't do that with books. They don't do verified purchase reviews with books, as far as it being won't post, but they do with pretty much every other product. So if people don't buy it and you have enough reviews left on there that were not verified purchases, they will make it to where only verified purchases can leave reviews on that Amazon listing. And so maybe that's a workaround. All right. Maybe that's a workaround. Have somebody click through to call, talk to you, scroll through your photos, ask a question, do shit on there that no one does.
Read all of the content on a city page. Yeah.
Look at that. He services right up the street from us. Look, incredible. Keith says, Footbridge, I'll be coming through for business, man. Look, you're right up the street, Keith. You're in Milton, Florida, bro. You ain't got, look, I grew up down there. So I grew up in Daphne, right across the way. Pensacola, Florida is where Footbridge Media is. Milton, Florida is not far away. So you're welcome, Keith. All right, guys, I appreciate it. We're running into 34 minutes. We got 26. Look, we got more guys on here now than when we started. I'm going to give you guys one more minute to post a question to have Chris answer it. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this video up. I don't want to keep you on. I don't want to be known as the guy that keeps you on here for an hour.
If we get into like hour 4 of this video call, then then we'll talk.
Bro, too much GMB in one set.
Yeah, no one wants. That's the thing, is nobody wants to think about this stuff this much.
No,
Like I said, Sarah, and funny enough, seeing in the comments so many people talking about Sarah, she's like a magician when it comes to this stuff. Her full-time gig with us is doing Google My Business, Google business profile stuff. I mean, that demonstrates how much effort this stuff takes. It's something, let alone if you want to write blog posts and if you want to build your own website. Now you also want to deal with your own Google stuff. I mean, there's just so many levels to this and so much inside baseball. I've talked with Sarah before, and I think we talked about this before. But like, she's got these crazy recipes of like, I need to email the support at this time and then wait 48 hours and then reply to that email with a different message. And that triggers a different automation. It's like voodoo sometimes watching her work.
Bro,
but she gets stuff done.
How many emails you have to send to learn that?
Oh, that's the thing. That's just bashing your head against the keyboard for years and then figuring out that recipe,
Like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park. They hit the cage, they get shocked, you back up.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's to get there, yeah.
Get shocked, back up. Eventually they find the hole. You know what I mean? That's exactly what it is. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. I don't see any more questions in the comments. Hey, look, if you're looking to get your website set up, Chris and the team over at Footbridge Media are the best in the game. Best customer service, best website builds. If you're a silly salmon, as Cody would say, do not give them a call. All right. Like, look, you got to have like expectations and manage those when you give them a call, because the first year it's going to be bleak. If you're a brand new site, you need to understand year 2 hits different. Comment in this, year 2 hits different. Your site needs to have time to age. You can't expect a flood of leads coming in the first year. I say this on every single video, but I know some of you guys are brand new and you're going to call and think that the $199 is just going to open the floodgates of Google. And guess what? Some of you guys who are in my area get to go up against me. And so that's not going to happen. All right. So look, if that's the case, you need to understand that it's going to take a while for those leads to come in, but they will come in for sure. You just have to have patience. You have to do everything that they say over there at Footbridge. They're going to help you with a lot of it. They're going to build, obviously, the site, but you have to understand that if they're telling you to do project pages, Chris, by God, do the project pages. Some of you guys, I'll check in on your sites because I get a list at the end of the month of all the guys who are on my $600 a year situation, the savings here. And I'll go look and I'll check and see if anybody's got project pages. And dude, like, when will we start? Some of you guys are doing great though. Some of you guys are doing great. So give them a call over there if you want to get your site done. Chris, how long are they taking to bill right now? 45, 60 days, something like that?
Yeah, I think right now, I think it's posted on the website, we're at like within 6 to 8 weeks. And obviously it's a real busy season for us. The spring is always crazy for us. But we crush hard as much as we can to get stuff out as quickly as we can. Yep.
I say this with love, man. Manage your expectations. Do everything they say. Don't be a silly salmon. And if you're going into business, this thing's going to be, it's going to be a 5-year ride. All right. You can't go into business and think next year you're going to get rich. I hate to say, I know a lot of you guys get that, but I also know some of you don't. Okay. I've learned from the comments on my YouTube, some of y'all kind of need a little bit of a business spanking every now and then to understand that this thing takes time. All right. I love you. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. All right. Deuces.